Here's Johnny.
Welcome to my nightmare.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Let me play with this, Daddy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Fear Freaks Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Haunt, and I'm here with my assistant host.
Am I supposed to? I thought you were going to guess who I am.
You are, who the hell are you? You're Destiny. You're Destiny Faulkner.
I'm not. I mean, I am, yeah, but I'm dressed up as someone.
Oh, God. Who the hell are you?
Flannel
God.
shirt, glasses, flannel, or not flannel, Hawaiian shirt, glasses.
Yeah, horror movie?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Horror movie we just talked about not that long ago.
God damn it. Is it X?
No.
Fuck. What is it? I'm blanking here. I'm really blanking.
I'm Richie from It.
Oh my fucking gosh! Wow. What a piece of shit.
If it makes you feel any better, I was just on Camp Blood Media's stream with Josh, and Brett was on there too, and neither of them could guess who I was either.
Oh my god!
And I was like, I feel like, and the bangs, because he has bangs as well. I was like,
yeah,
I mean, this is spot on.
I can definitely see it, but I definitely didn't guess that. But you know, hey, we got Dr. Haunt and Richie, and honestly, I do feel like I'm the full Dr. Haunt right now because for those of you that might be confused, Dr. Haunt's a character I just came up with, honestly, like literally 10 minutes ago. Actually, not even.
No. Like 10
not even
seconds ago.
10 seconds. But you know what? Hey, the most important thing is I'm dressed up. We're going to be dressing up every single week from here on out. You know,
hopefully next week there's more effort involved.
Hopefully next week there is more effort involved. I've got my coffee. I've got a pumpkin latte right now from Starbucks. I mean, literally, it's like we're full on spook mode right now. So, good evening to everyone that's in the chat. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. We got a pretty good crowd in here already. So here I'm gonna start scrolling up here. Brandon, what's going on? How you doing? Goodreal is actually missing. He is missing the Chucky season 2 premiere to be here. We really appreciate you, Brett, man. Seriously, what a man, what a guy. Antonis, what's going on? How you doing? So Antonis, got to give a shout out. Antonis is the first person to ever become a member of this channel. He is a member.
Is that what that thing is next to his name?
Yeah. So if you guys decide to become a member, you guys get little icons and stuff like that next to your name. If you're a new member, you get a nice little pumpkin. You know, those of you that want to get the Michael Myers badge, you guys got to be around for at least 6 months. All right. So, you know, after a month, you get a zombie, and then you're that until the 6-month mark. So, you know, consider joining the channel and, you know, getting exclusive perks. And guys, we do have Fear Freaks merchandise now. You guys can actually purchase Fear Freaks merch. I normally link everything like down below, but in the Bat Production store, you guys can purchase Fear Freak zip-ups, hoodies, t-shirts, all that kind of good stuff if you guys like to support the show. That was quite an opening. So, you know,
do you see that?
Yeah, I do see that.
That's my hangnail. I just pulled it out.
Oh my goodness.
It's been bothering me.
I had a hangnail yesterday. Dude, this like literally I cannot like wear this to an interview or anything. Like look at this.
What,
like,
your nice costume?
My super nice costume. I could wear this to if I ever showed up like this, I'm in black jeans right now. I'm in my Haunt. I have a Haunt shirt on under this. If I ever showed up like this, I'd be like, I'm Dr. Haunt. Who are you?
Dr. Haunt.
Dr. Haunt.
Honestly, it's really throwing me off you're not wearing a hat. It's
right?
really throwing me off. I only ever really see you in hats.
Well, I mean, would a doctor actually be in a hat? Like, should I put it on? Will that make you feel better?
A doctor you just made up?
Yeah, like
it's your roles.
Like, I mean, you know what? I'll put him in a hat. Why not?
His original thing was he was going to be a nerd.
Yeah,
he decided to be a doctor.
I was going to be a nerd, and then I was like, that means I literally have to take a little bit more time, button up my shirt, like put on the tie, Like, you know, then I have to put tape around my glasses. Maybe next week, maybe this year, I'll just do like the smart person thing. Like I have like a smart theme going. Like if I'm Dr. Hunt this week, I'll be a nerd next week. And then like maybe the week of Halloween, I'll come dressed as the finale of, I'm sure everybody knows, if you know me, who I'm going to come as. So, you know, like let's be real.
Michael Myers?
Maybe, yeah.
Well,
like,
then you have to wear the mask the whole time.
Fuck, that's gonna be a
Yeah,
lot
I'm sorry,
of work.
it's a part of it.
Maybe I'll just get my fucking face painted then. I don't know. But who else we got here? Welcome everyone that is in the chat. I really appreciate you guys all being here. You guys are amazing. And Thomas, I see you asking a lot of questions here. He asked, what's our favorite kill in Terrifier? Believe me, we are going to get there. We have a jam-packed show tonight talking about Terrifier. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that I had thought that I'd seen Terrifier, but there's a movie out there called All Hallows Eve that literally is also written and directed by Damien Leone. It's like more of an anthology movie. And I had thought that, like, I'd seen some scenes with art in there and everything, and I've seen the short film Terrifier. So I had thought that I had seen the movie. I was fucking wrong. I started this movie. I was like, why does this not seem so familiar to me? And it then registered. I was like, fuck, I haven't seen this. So I was intrigued to see like what was going to happen. And my God, by the end of it, I was fucking blown away by what I just witnessed. And I actually just saw my buddy Misael. I just saw his message come through. I just got a ding from him. He's watching it right now for the first time, and all caps right now. And literally, he was like, this movie is fucking crazy. And this movie is. But before we get into Terrifier, Destiny, what is in your world of horror this week? What's going on?
All right, so we're finally in October, and I am doing the 31 days of Halloween, or of October, whatever, where you watch a movie each day, you know, for the month. So I've watched quite a bit. I went from watching like 2 movies a week to October 1st, I watched Halloween. I watched Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I watched, what else did I watch? I can't go in order. I watched Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I've also watched Halloween 4 and 6. I watched The Gate, which was actually a first-time watch for me. And there was another movie I watched for the first time that day. What the fuck was it? I can't remember. I've watched quite a bit. All sort of Halloween, fall time. The Conjuring. I watched The Conjuring.
Mm-hmm.
I did do another first-time watch, and I cannot remember. And I really liked it, too, and I can't remember what it was. But I watched quite a bit. Today I've only watched Terrifier. And I think the other day I watched Halloween H2O as well with Matt on his channel. Yeah. I've watched like 12 movies so far on my list. Because I'm making a list on Letterboxd of everything I'm watching this month. So I've watched quite a bit. Most of them movies I've already seen except for 2. One was The Gate. One was whatever the fuck else I watched, and I can't remember what I watched, but only 2 new watches. The rest were all rewatches, but all sort of Halloween, fall time related movies.
Well, guess what? I
mood.
hate to break it to you. I love doing this. Like, I love like doing the pull the jacket down. Like, you know, I'm such a fucking loser. Anyway, you're missing one. You're missing one that you watched this past weekend.
What did I watch?
Just came out on Friday.
Just came out on Friday.
Come on, chat, help her out. I know most of you watched it. It's been on Facebook all weekend, and I guarantee you, if you walk into any sort of Halloween shop, it's like one of the first things that you see this Halloween season because of how popular it is.
Friday.
Are we kidding?
Hocus Pocus 2. I watched Hocus Pocus 2.
There you go. There you go. I was going to say, because that is in my world of horror this week, too, is I watched Hocus Pocus 2 as well. And I got to say, I had a great time with Hocus Pocus 2. Like, I'm seeing like a lot of people, I'm seeing some mixed stuff on it. Some people are like, oh, the story wasn't there, or oh, you know what? I just wanted to have a good time with it. That's all I really wanted to do. And I had a great time with it. I laughed. I was fucking like actually like tapping my feet to like to the songs and everything like that. I was like, I loved it. I thought it was great. So, and I will say the three main witches, each of them, honestly, they lost so much weight from like the first one, or at least the one in the pink. Like she looked really good. Like, I mean, she looks like that she's like been taking care of herself and everything and all that stuff. Like, I mean, that was one of my comments actually. I watched it with Abby on Friday night, and like I was like talking to her about that, and she was like, you know what, I think you're right. I was like, yeah, like they all look great still. Like they look like, I mean, I know that they have like, you know, makeup artists to get them into the costumes and everything like that, but I thought that like they all looked very much like they did in the original. So
Yeah, I liked Hocus Pocus 2 a lot. I went in kind of because I had seen people saying, well, I kept seeing people saying like, oh my God, it's so cute, it's so good. Then I kept seeing people are like, this was not good. And I was like, fuck.
yeah,
And we went to my mom's. My mom bought a shit ton of pizza. They made Halloween cookies and we had popcorn and like my aunt. And there was like, I had 3 of my cousins there and my 2 brothers and my mom, my aunt, and Bailey. So like there was like a lot of us watching the movie together, and we never really do stuff like that as a family. So it was just fun to do something, and like we
yeah,
had drinks. My mom and I wore like my witch sweater, and she wore a Hocus Pocus shirt. We're the only ones that wore
yeah,
anything witchy, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought we were doing a theme here, whatever.
yeah.
But oh, I also watched Hocus Pocus. Oh, and Lights Out. It's coming to me now. I did watch
Mhm.
those 2 with Mia. But I thought Hocus Pocus 2 was so cute. Like, I didn't...
Yeah,
Look, if you watch the original Hocus Pocus, is it like... you know, you can break down each scene and everything makes sense? No.
no,
But do people care? Like, no. Because that's not what the movie is. And I went into this thinking the same way.
yeah,
I didn't go into this movie thinking it was going to be better than the original. But I also didn't go into this movie thinking it's going to be like, you know, this fucking like masterpiece or anything like that. I went in wanting a cute, fun Halloween movie. And that's exactly what I got. And
yeah,
that's all I wanted. And like you're
yeah,
saying, like the musical moments, I was like dancing along. I was smiling like the whole time. I cried a little bit towards the end. I was like, wow, this like really hit me like emotionally. I thought it was cute. People are saying, of course, with anything that's new, oh, it's so, you know, woke and oh, this, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, whatever. Shut up. Because, like, my thing with the original Hocus Pocus, people don't talk like that nowadays. That
yeah,
shit can seem cringy as well, and people give so much shit for the way the dialogue's written in this. I'm like, that's just how people, especially young people, talk. I
yeah,
don't think it's necessarily, I don't know.
yeah,
That kind of bothers me because in the original Hocus Pocus, the bullies, the stuff they say, people don't say that anymore. Not because it's like, oh, don't say that. It's just cringy. But
yeah,
like, it's fine, and that gets a pass. But in the new one, people were like, oh god, they're doing it again.
yeah.
Whatever. I thought Hocus Pocus 2 was so cute. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot
I
of fun.
I agree. I thought it was great, and you know, I definitely thought that that was one thing that was in my world this week in terms of like spooky things I watched. I also watched Halloween 2018. Did my review this week for that. What else? I continued the top 10 or the 101 scariest moments in horror. I've
Mm-hmm.
been just having a great time on Shudder, and even like with next week's topic, we're talking about Hack-O-Lantern. So you know, like I'm excited to start going on more of like the Shudder thing. I've been exploring more on Shudder because I feel like I've had it, but I haven't been utilizing it. So, you know, but all right, before we get into Terrifier, Brett, man, thank you so much for the super chat. Braden looks like a cool uncle. Also love Tara and Terrifier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's see what other comments we got here. Oh, and yeah, I did see Smile this past week also. So, you know, Antanas, thank you so much for reminding me about that. I definitely saw Smile this week as well.
Oh yeah, Brett right here and Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost 2 Destiny. I did watch that. I'm just gonna look really quick on my letterbox.
Yeah.
gonna drive me crazy.
I honestly need to get better at updating my letterbox, like actually, like for a fact. So
Okay, here we go. I have it pulled up, so I'm just gonna run through them all really quick.
okay.
In order too. Halloween, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, The Monster Squad, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, Hocus Pocus, Lights Out, The Gate, Fright Night, The Conjuring, Trick or Treat was my other first time watch, Halloween H2O, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Halloween 6, then Halloween 4. So, The Gate and Trick or Treat, the like 87, 89, it's like the rock and roll sort of trick or treat, not like trick or treat, but that movie was a lot of fun too. I really liked it. I like when horror movies have like music involved, especially like more like metal rock sort of music, because I feel like they go like hand in hand. Something like Deathgasm. I love Deathgasm. But Trick or Treat was a lot of fun, and it's on YouTube if you want to watch it, because it's not streaming like anywhere. I don't even know if you can rent it, but if you want to watch it for free, look at it, YouTube, Trick or Treat, from the 80s.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah. And it has Ozzy Osbourne in it for just a little bit, but he's there.
Mia's calling you out here in the chat. She's saying that you fell asleep 20 minutes into Lights Out. Way to go.
I did, but I still counted it. Okay, leave me alone. I'm still counting
Yeah.
it. You know, look, we do our weekly FaceTime watches, like me and I do. We put on Lights Out. I'm watching it. Next thing I know, I wake up. It's 3 a.m. and I'm so confused because I was like, I never hung up. We never said like goodnight. I fucking just passed out. And I messaged her. I was like, what the fuck happened? She's like, girl, you are gone.
You passed out.
I passed the fuck out. I woke up. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, how the fuck did I get here? I did. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Oh, Lordy. What do you call it? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our topic. 17 minutes in, and, you know, I've been taking some notes on, you know, the history of this movie. So if you're okay, Destiny, I'm going to give some a little bit about the backstory, and then we can get into the main discussion. So obviously, everybody, we know this is a big week for Terrifier. Terrifier 2 comes out tomorrow night, and it's in theaters. Destiny, are you going to see it in theaters?
No, because it's not playing near me.
I freaking really want to see. I mean, it's playing around me. I do actually really want to go see it in theaters. But I won't be able to till next week. So I'm not going to get to see this right away. I'm so sad that it's not streaming on platforms until next month. It's like it's only in theaters right now until November. So, you know, like it kind of upsets me. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, because okay, look, I don't really like spending the $20 to rent. Usually, some movies it's like $6.99 to rent, like new movies, but there are movies that are like $20 to rent. I don't really like spending $20 to rent a movie. I would rather see it in theaters. But if it was this, I would spend the $20 to see Terrifier 2 to rent it, because I've heard nothing but great things, which makes me so excited because I know people are split on Terrifier.
Mm-hmm.
But to see so many people say like how great the second one is and how crazy it is, I would love to be able to see it. I hate that it's not like getting like a wide release, like all theaters.
Yeah.
No, it's like select, only certain theaters are showing it. I'm like,
yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Well, this one, I mean, it's got mixed reviews. And I mean, to be fair, Terrifier 2, from what I'm seeing, the runtime is blown up compared to this one. Like this one is tight. It's an hour and 20 minutes. And it's, yeah, just literally, it's a very easy watch if you're not agoraphobic. If you're agoraphobic, I wouldn't recommend this movie at all. But and we're gonna get into why for sure. So spoilers in the chat if you guys haven't seen Terrifier. Obviously, we're talking about this movie in depth. But yeah, so this production it started out as a 2008 short film written and directed by Damien Leon, and Art the Clown has kind of been around, like, you know, ever since Damien like made his first film. And this is kind of like as a filmmaker, this is what Damien Leon is going to be known for throughout his career. It's like, you know, John Carpenter, I mean, arguably he's known for Halloween, but he also has a lot of other great stuff like The Thing. And I mean, there are a lot of fans of The Fog and Escape from New York and Christine. Like, you know, he just has like a wide range of shit that like people know John Carpenter from. Damien Leone, he's kind of now classifying himself as this filmmaker that's going to be just known for Art the Clown. He's the one that brought out Art, but that's also not a bad thing because Art, I am seeing that a lot of people are actually classifying him as a new horror icon, like as a slasher and everything. I can totally see why, because the man is racking up quite a count in brutal ass ways. But so yeah, the movie started out as a short film, and then it went on like the first feature that Damien Leone also wrote and directed was All Hallows Eve, which is what I thought was Terrifier, because like Art the Clown has some appearances in there. And then he had they started an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign, Terrifier, and then a filmmaker actually saw it. Actually, I have his name right here. Phil Falcone provided the necessary funds. He's another filmmaker. He got wind of the Indiegogo campaign and he reached out to Damien and was like, hey, I'm going to fund your entire movie. And that's why this movie ended up getting made. After it was made, it got picked up by Dread Central. And then it had a limited theater release in 2018. And then it got released on Blu-ray and all that shit. So, you know, this movie made its way around festivals to start off. It's like to see how audiences were like reacting to shit. It's like, is it earthquake going on over there?
Oh my God.
To see how audiences were reacting to it. And it got pretty mixed to positive reviews. I mean, it didn't get really a whole. It currently sits right now on Rotten Tomatoes at a 60% last time I checked. So that's good. That's good for a movie like this. So, and it seems like even fans that are kind of torn on the first one that have seen it are just saying, because it premiered at Fantastic Fest this past week. But people are just fucking saying that it is insane. Like it's bloody. I don't even know if there was another trailer that came out, because they released the teaser trailer for Terrifier 2 a couple years ago. That's the only thing I watched. So I actually went back and I watched it here today, and I'm like, dang, like this still looks good. Like I'm like, this, like it doesn't give away a whole lot. You know, but okay. So now that we've got that out of the way, you know, Terrifier, it's got little to mixed reviews. Chat, what do you guys think about Terrifier? I'm seeing even some of you saying that you guys don't like this movie. That some of you guys are saying that you guys love this movie. Destiny, what do you like about Terrifier?
What I like about it, it's just like it's a good sort of throwback to like an 80s slasher movie. Like it doesn't feel entirely 80s or anything, and it's not trying to be the 80s, but it has like that feeling of like a low budget 80s movie, and this movie is pretty low budget, and I feel like you can kind of tell there's really not a lot of people in it. There's like a few people here and there. You have 2, 3, 4-ish main characters besides Art the Clown, of course. But like the locations are very like limited. There's not a lot of like, there's really no extras. There's like the people that work in the diner. There's the main two people, the guy that's like fumigating the building, and the sister's roommate, and the boy. Besides that, there's no extras. And it feels really isolated, and it feels like they were just working with what they had. But where the movie exceeds in is obviously the gore. The gore in this movie is like top notch. It's really great. And I think Art the Clown is so good. As soon as you see him, he's so captivating. And it's like even though you can't really tell like his emotions that much, like, yeah, there's parts where he's like, and then where he's like doing his like weird smile, it's just, he's so creepy. He's really unnerving. And I feel like there's not a lot of slasher or really any horror villains that like make me feel like unnerved. But he makes me feel unnerved because you just don't know what the fuck he's going to do next. He goes from being so still to like acting all crazy and going like all silly and stuff. And then he gets like mad. But what I really like about the movie is just, you can tell it's low budget. but they did what they could with that, and I feel like they really exceeded with that. In my opinion, I am a big fan of this movie. This was only like, I think, my third time watching it, maybe. I haven't watched it that much because I try to save it for like October. And I don't think I saw it last year for the first time. I think it was the year before that. And so I try to keep it to October to watch it. But it's just, I think it's a lot of fun. And like you said, it's a short movie. It goes by super fast. I know people give like the acting some shit. Personally, I don't have a problem with the acting. I like the two main girls. I feel like they just feel like real friends because I feel like that's how real friends talk to each other, especially like girls. Like we're not always like the nicest to each other, but we do it with love. Like we'll call each other bitch and stuff like that and give a lot of shit to our friends, but it's not out of hate, it's out of love. And I feel like that's how these two girls are. And that's what I really like about them is they feel like genuine, just friends. Like they've been friends for a while and they pick on each other. And I like that. But yeah, there's really not a lot that I don't like about the movie. Mm-hmm. Maybe I do wish it felt a little bit more like lived in because the whole town that we do see, it doesn't feel lived in because it's so isolated. But again,
yeah,
budget restraints. Dude, this fucking little gnat, it's pissing me off. Anyways, but yeah, with what they were able to do with how much, they were given, I think it's great. I think it's a lot of fun. Not every movie, I think, has to be, again, not every movie has to be like, I don't know, like cinematic gold. You can like stuff that is just a fun time, that has great kills, has a great villain, which I do see Art the Clown becoming, one of the next big slashers, which makes me excited because I'm excited to get new slashers that people are like going to see and want to see, and especially to get a sequel to Terrifier because like I don't know, it came out and I was like, oh, this is good, I like this, and I just never knew or thought maybe we would get a sequel, but I'm so happy we are because I'm just ready to see Art the Clown really fuck some shit up, especially with like a bigger budget and more people, because from the trailer there's a lot of people, and that's really different from this. So I'm excited to see Terrifier but on a bigger scale because I think it's going to just exceed this movie.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, like the runtime for the sequel goes from an hour and 20 minutes to 2 hours and 18 minutes. So they clearly gave, and the one thing with Terrifier is it almost wastes little to no time with really kind of like bringing you into like what's going on. Now the beginning is a little interesting because it's like it starts with that girl on the talk show. And, we later find out that it was actually Victoria, and she was like talking about her experience and surviving. And we see Art's like feet, like watching this TV, and he like kicks it almost as if he's pissed off that she survived. I thought that the movie was going to play out to like where at the end, like maybe like he like, ends up like I thought that it was like going to like lead into that. Now it did in a way to like where Victoria, like she, like it all leads to the end of them turning her around and seeing her face. But the beginning, it just kind of like left open to question. It's like, okay, so now Victoria, like she killed the host of the show in the beginning, And I mean, I get it. It's like, she doesn't look the best. I mean, her face is all fucked up and everything, but like
she went through shit.
I mean, she definitely did go through a lot of shit. That is for damn sure. But I think that what do you call it? I think that I wish that we got a little bit more explanation on that, but I mean, what are you going to do? I know that they had a pretty tight budget, and like you said, the town, it feels like a ghost town. Like nobody's out and about. Like we open and it's like literally just these two girls like in the street walking alone at night. In the diner, it's just the two guys or whatever, which I mean, in the middle of the night, it would probably make sense. Like, like I've been into plenty of restaurants at night, like where it's been like me and maybe two friends and just the, like, the wait staff that's just there. And like, I mean, but it's definitely it's a perfect night for a creepy dude like Art to be like out and about, like just looking around everything. I'm going to take care of the super chat here real quick. Tanis, thank you so much for the super chat. Sorry to go off topic, but have you guys watched the Dahmer TV show on Netflix yet? I have not, that is on my list of things. There's a couple of shows this month that I really want to get through. Dahmer being one. I also know that the Midnight Club from Mike Flanagan is coming out very shortly. And then The Watcher, the series, which comes out on October 13th. I do really want to watch those. But I've not yet had a chance to watch it. Destiny, have you watched Dahmer yet?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't want to.
Okay, gotcha. I've heard it's pretty unsettling, and I've seen
That's
some...
not even, like, look, again, off topic. I used to be a true crime girly.
Mm-hmm.
I was, because, like, that's what I used to want to do. I used to want to be a criminal psychologist, me, or even a criminologist. I wanted to go to school for that. Because I do find stuff like that interesting. I find, like, I like learning about stuff, and I also like to become, like, aware. You know, I feel like learning about a lot of true crime and stuff, it's made me so much more aware of my surroundings at times. Like, it's made me really like, okay, I got to be on the lookout at all times, because that's just the kind of world we live in. But knowing that Netflix, like, a lot of the victims' families of, you know, the people that were killed by Dahmer, they didn't want this to be made. And when I found out about that, I was like, it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth, and they still made it, you know, because money. It kind of, I don't know, because, you know, these people, their families are still around, and now there's a show, and a lot of these, I've seen, like, the reenactments of, like, stuff from, like, the courtroom of the trial, and it's, like, exact, like, shot for shot, and the girl that, one of the girls, like, they showed, like, her actual footage of her in the courtroom. I think she spoke out about it too, and how she didn't want it made, because it's like, it's kind of like glorifying everything, and just to see people's reactions to Dahmer, and especially to Evan Peters as Dahmer, it's really I don't know. No,
Yeah.
I just don't. It's all I see everywhere. I'm so tired of seeing shit about Dahmer himself, because I'm just tired. I'm tired of all the reenactment. Like, when it comes to, like, documentaries, I don't feel as bad with documentaries, but when it's like a fictionalized sort of version of what really happened, I don't really like that too much. So yeah, we'll not be watching. Definitely skipping.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah. Just
all right. All right. Back to Terrifier.
But if you do, I'm not judging you for it. I'm not judging anyone for it. I will judge you if you are liking thirst traps of Evan Peters as Dahmer. I will hardcore judge you if you dress up as Dahmer. And if I know anyone that does that, I will punch you.
Dang. There you
Back
go.
to
See,
Terrifier.
y'all want to get punched by Destiny? Y'all know what to do. There you go. Okay. So where were we with Terrifier? We were talking the diner
opening.
and everything. Yeah, the opening. The diner. The two girls, they're walking, like, alone at night. They see Art. He's like, kind of, I don't know why. Like, I love the color of this movie. I like how everything is just kind of either got, like, a blue background or a pink background or something red. Like, I mean, it's got a very interesting look to it. Like, it doesn't look like your ordinary 1980s slasher movie. Like, this honestly has more of, like, its own kind of style. The best way I can describe it is, like, it has, like, a goth look to it, which is what I love about it. And I think it works very well for this movie. And just, like, when Art is, like, walking and it's like he's got his, like, garbage bag, like, he just seems like the dude's organized. Like, he has his own little pack full of stuff. Like, you know, like, in Trick or Treat, Sam has his, like, little pack and everything. And yeah, and then Art, he has his little garbage bag. He just throws everything in a garbage bag and just, like, you know, walks around. And like, you know, in the beginning, we see him, like, getting ready and everything. We don't ever really get, like, a good look at him, like, putting on, like, you know, like, everything on his face. So, and, like, the way that he looks, it's almost like, is this how he's always looked? Because, like, it's like he always has the smile, or, like, even, like, he also has just a look to him to, like, where it's like you almost feel bad for him in some scenes. Like, you know, like, he's, like, sitting there and he's just, like, you know, like, looking down. And this is one of those roles, it's like, you have to be so good with your silent, but you also need to make the audience understand what you like, who you are and what your character is. And fucking like Art does that so well. Like, I mean, like he follows these girls into like the shop or into the pizza shop and sits right across from Tara and Dawn. And he's just like looking at him. And Dawn is sitting there. She's like, don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. And Tara, rightfully so, like you have someone come in and and he's sitting across from you, just staring at you, just like not even, even when the guy came up, like to take his order, and he's just sitting there and he's just dead staring them both. He wasn't even looking at Dawn, he was looking at Tara. So I mean, you know, it's like I just genuinely think, I'm like, yeah, rightfully so, you'd be freaked the hell out. And then like, you know, he goes in the back and like they all get like, or he gets kicked out and grabs his garbage bag, throws it out. And then like later on, it's like, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I've heard it was gory, but like when you see the dude's head with the candles and stuff like that through it, I was like, oh my God.
It looks so good.
It looks
and it
so
reminds
good.
me a lot of the Kill in Halloween 2018. And I love a carved head like a pumpkin. Looks so good. I want one so bad. I think it looks so good. I absolutely love that because it's like your first look at like really like the shit he does. It's like, holy fuck, like we are about to get into it. And then the other guy gets killed with that knife that goes through his cheek. Looks so real. How is that not real? His death scene is so good. And it's just like you said, like this is really early into the movie. Like you have your short little opening, you have the whole diner scene gets kicked out. Dawn's tires are like slashed, which Tara thinks, you know, what if it was the clown? He knows what car. And she's like, oh, like whatever, blah, blah, blah. Come on now. Tara's smart. And I really love the whole part of like the intercutting of them talking about like, oh, you shouldn't be freaked out. Like it's whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's cutting to the guy being killed at the pizza shop. I think that's just really funny because, you know, Dawn's like, you shouldn't be so scared. It's fine. Like whatever. Meanwhile, the other guy is being brutally killed by the clown. So I think that's just, it's fun, like editing humor, I guess. I don't know. But pretty much right off the bat, you see, like, Art, he's not fucking around. And you see what you're about to get into, but you still have, like, no idea what you're about to get into. You see how brutal it is, but you don't know the extent it's going to go, which I love. I love that.
I agree. Like, I think that it's like when he kills people, I think that, I just genuinely think that I never know how he's going to go about doing it. Like, I mean, just like, even when we got the freaking close up of the dude's hand coming off and he's like holding it or whatever. And I was just like, I'm just sitting there. I'm like my jaw's already on the ground. I'm like, okay, how much like further is like my jaw going to be on the ground in this movie? And as it progresses, like my jaw genuinely just keeps going lower and lower and lower. And then it's like, so after that, like we catch up with these girls and like, you know, like you said, Dawn has a flat tire. Tara's thinking that it's Art. And she like has to use the bathroom. She goes inside, yada, yada, yada. I honestly thought that, so when she sees Art inside or like whatever, there's a yellow, I don't know if anyone has ever caught on to this, but there's a yellow glow in the background. I honestly thought, because he got in the car with Dawn, I thought that yellow glow was like the car on fire. I thought that like he might have opened the door and like we would have seen the car on fire with Dawn in there. No, but that would, I feel like that would have been graceful for somebody like Art if he's just like burning you. Like, I feel like that's like graceful. Like, he just
That's
doesn't
like
really.
the easy way out.
Yeah, like that's like the easy way out. Like, you should be thankful if Art's like gonna burn you to death. Like,
again, I love that scene. Tara, she's taking her selfies. She's listening to the radio, and they're like, which I love. I love this. It's like, this just in. A few minutes ago, 2 bodies found. A double homicide. Looking for a man like a tall man in white and black dressed like a clown, and she was like, holy. Oh, meanwhile, Tara's going to piss, so she's out of the car, and then the car door opens and she's still like looking at her phone and like listening. She's like, holy shit, you're not gonna believe this. Looks, and it's just Art just fucking look. That's fucking scary, dude.
I don't know why. I love like when he does like the eyebrow raise. Like there's the shot in there's the shot in the Terrifier 2 teaser, like where he's just got his arms crossed and he just like does the eyebrow raise. It's like, I don't know. There's just something about him. Like, there's just something about him that it's like, it's likable, like in a way. It's like almost like you like this like guy, like that's and you just like his look. Now, I will say his look is fantastic. Like whoever is the makeup designer for this, his look is awesome. And Tara does like, I mean, I see, Bretman, like he was like, Art is right to look at Tara. I would too. Shit, I would too. Like, I mean, she's really good looking, right?
She's beautiful.
So exactly. So it's like, I think that like she puts up a really good fight with him. Like, and that's what I like about this is that like we have a character here who is smart. Like we have a girl that we can connect with who's smart. Yeah, you can hate on the acting and stuff. The acting, I will say, is very cheesy and at times. Like, but I also understand that. Like, it's not something I'm going to hate on. It's never something. If you guys are expecting Oscar-winning performances in a slasher, y'all need to go fucking somewhere else to get those performances because they ain't ever going to be in a slasher movie. I'm telling you that. So, what do you call it? Like, yeah, it's passable for this. I mean, what do you watch this movie for? You watch this movie for art. And I honestly think that is what probably the pitch was, is that you watch this movie for art and you watch it for the gore. That's probably going to be the two things that's the most memorable in this movie. And once these girls get captured and Tara wakes up, the real mayhem fucking begins. Because after Tara wakes up and he pulls down that sheet and Dawn is hanging butt-ass naked, she's not even naked. She's only in her freaking panties. Like that's all that she is in. She's in her underwear. Everything else is off of her body. And she's hanging, and like he's like looking at Tara, and he fucking grabs the saw, and he's like literally, I wasn't sure how far they were gonna go, and then I was like, you know what? Oh shit, this movie it says it's extremely gory. They're about to show the whole thing. Shows the whole fucking thing.
Fucking from vagina all the way down to her head, and it's just hacking away, and it's a lot. It's brutal as fuck too.
It's insane.
But without that scene, would this movie really be like as talked about? Because like yes, Art the Clown is fucking great, and the other kills are good. Like the head looks great. The other guy that gets killed looks great. But without this particular death scene, I don't think this movie would be what it is, and I don't think it would be as talked about because if you don't have something so fucking crazy, because like this is the best scene. I know earlier they asked what's your favorite kill. This one is my favorite because it is absolutely, yes, it's honest. This movie is insane. The scene is so crazy, and the fact that they go all the way and she is basically fully naked besides her underwear. And they show everything, and it looks so good. Like, the effects look so good. Again, it makes it feel so real, and you feel so bad. And then Tara can't do anything. She's just watching this happen. She can't do anything, and it sucks. And especially to watch your, like, best friend be brutally murdered right in front of you, especially in this way. It's a lot.
Literally, like, right in freaking front of you. Like, I mean, it's absolutely insane. Like, and Mud here, he says Art's costume and mannerisms is a bit of a mixture between a clown and
mime.
And a mime. Yeah, no, I agree to that. Like, I think that the way that he moves and the way that he just like uses his hands and just all that is just it's insane. But I mean, I can't even freaking imagine just like seeing what Tara was seeing like right in front of her. Like, that's got to be absolutely awful. And Atanas here says that he also heard, I mean, I would hope that Terrifier 2 is more of a story because it's 2 hours and 18 minutes. And
yeah,
if it's 2 hours and 18 minutes with no story, then you know,
It's a
then
problem.
then we might have a little bit of issues. But like, I mean,
Yeah, because this one, there's really not a story.
no,
It's
it's
just Halloween night.
two
Art
girls
clown
walking
finds
home.
two people, starts terrorizing them, kills them. Like that's
Boom.
it, which is fine. And I know, like Mud earlier, he said something. Hold on, let me find it. Said something about how it feels like. Oh, where'd it go? He said, "Oh, it's gone." He said like it felt like a fan film, but like in the best way possible, but like not as like an insult or anything. Like it does. It feels just so. I don't know. It feels so cheesy at times, and you said the acting was cheesy, and I feel like that's what like adds to its charm in a way, because I feel like the same thing for a lot of 80s slashers. A lot of the acting, terrible. The storyline in a lot of 80s slashers, it's it's the same. It's basically all the same in a way. It's just a different rendition of another slasher movie.
Yeah.
But there's so much charm to be had with those movies, and I feel like that's what this is as well. And like on Camp Blood Media's stream, we're talking about like the new Halloweens and stuff like that. And I saw, you know, what makes the original so great is because they had such a restraint and they didn't have a budget and they were working with what they had. And when you do that, some really great things are made. And I feel like it's the same way with this. When you really don't have the biggest budget and you have these restraints, you're forced to work around everything. And in the end, you come out with some really cool stuff. And I feel like that's what happened with this.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't need a big budget. Sometimes you can really make stuff work with a low budget.
Yeah.
And it adds to its charm. Because I feel like if this movie, I don't know, I think if it had like great acting all around, and if it just felt like, with this one, if it felt like a bigger sort of movie, I don't think it would be, I don't know. I don't know if it would be as enjoyable, because there's
Mm-hmm.
something so, I don't want to say pure when talking about Terrifier, because like what the fuck, but there is something that feels pure about this movie. It's like people wanted to make it, they fucking got the money for it, and then they made it. I think that's awesome, which I know that's how a lot of movies are made, but I think that's just so cool, and it's really inspiring, you know, from going from
Yeah.
like an Indiegogo campaign to someone being like, hey, I got you, to this, to now making a big version of the original,
Yeah.
basically. Like that's really inspiring. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm more excited for Terrifier 2 now that I've actually had a chance to sit down and watch like this first one. So you know, I'm definitely amped about that. I also loved Goodreel's comment saying, "Who saw that coming?" You know, love it, love it, love it, love it. Then we've got Atanas here says, fun fact, that was a real saw that David Howard Thornton had to use to cut the dummy open from legs to head. See, like that, like the dummy right
You could
there,
feel
like,
it.
I mean, yeah, like, I mean, shit. Like the way, I mean, the dummy was real, it was real looking, that is for sure. Cause like when it like, even like the shot of like when it was like showing like the legs like and everything and just the saw like going like right down, I was just like, oh my fucking
And like
gosh. Like,
you can tell it's real too, like by the noise it's making, like that in
yeah.
out sort of like it, and that's what adds to it. It makes it feel so real. And again, hats off to David, because it wasn't David that played him in All Hallows Eve,
Mm-mm.
but like, which I have not seen that movie. It's actually on my watch list for this October. I meant to last year, never got around to it. It is on my watch list for this, but like I just couldn't imagine someone else playing this character, even though he wasn't necessarily the first, but he embodies this role. Like you're saying, the mannerisms. If he didn't do all the things with his hands and the way he like slouches his shoulders and sits right back up, like if all these little details didn't go into the character wouldn't be as effective as it is. He completely just embodies this character,
Mm-hmm.
and he does a fucking great job too.
Yeah.
He's so good. It's like, it's frightening how good he is, but it's so good. And he seems like the nicest person in real life too,
Yeah.
which I love. I love when the nice people play absolute, you fucking bitch. Anyways, yeah, he's amazing.
No, I agree. Bretman, you're coming up next, but Atanas, he says, I'll stop at no, buddy. Hey, ask all the questions, man. Freaking
Look who you're talking to.
like literally, we go off on tangents all the time, dude. You never gotta like around here. Never feel afraid to ask questions. You know,
No,
keep
we
keep
love
them coming.
questions.
Keep them coming. It honestly keeps this chat going. So you know?
Literally, if people didn't talk in the chat, what would be the point?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, and then Brandon, look at that. We got a brand new member here. Welcome to the member club. Enjoy your pumpkin thing now. And members also, Atanas, you're a member, buddy. You got priority comments. So, you know, that's in the member description. So, Bretman says, do you guys think Art using a gun was a good idea? I didn't like that at all. Also hated like that Tara died. She should have been a final girl. Now, the one thing I do like about this movie is actually the fact that there is no real final girl. I wouldn't necessarily call Victoria a final girl. I'm not gonna lie. Just like everything that like happened. Yes, she did survive, but I mean, a final girl, it's like, I don't think that that's how she should have gone out as a final girl. So I would almost consider that there is none. Like, you know.
She's like a default sort of final girl. She's only the final, like, because she's not there for a lot of it. She shows up at the end and is like, what the fuck? But she's like a final girl by process of elimination, but she didn't go through all that since the beginning. She wasn't there. She walked in to all this chaos. I personally liked the gun. I know a lot of people don't, but it is so fucking unexpected. That first time I watched it, I was like, oh my god.
That he had a gun in his
because you don't think about that. You don't think, but it just goes to show that Art the Clown is smart. And this is a backup plan. He has fun toying with them and he has fun torturing them. But when things go to shit for him, he has a backup plan, and that is the gun. And it's so unexpected because, like you're thinking Tara's your final girl. She's going to make it. And usually, like maybe no, there's been instances in other movies where you think this is your final girl and they get killed. And personally, I'm a fan of that. I do like the subversion of your final girl when it's done right, because I think it's a lot of fun with this. Like, maybe our final girl, she's just kind of there. But the fact that you think Tara is your final girl basically the whole time, because she's the one that's aware, she's smart, she's doing, usually what your final girls would do, like your smart ones, like she's immediately like, no, this feels really weird, as she should, because it is weird. And she just gets taken out. And it had me like on the floor the first time I watched it, because I was like, oh my god. And like Judd said, how like aggressive it is. I think the way he uses the gun is so aggressive that it works. Mm-hmm. I agree. He unloads the fucking whole clip in the face. Like, that's so... And even though he's shooting her, which usually, shooting's more effective than like a stab.
Yeah.
The whole clip into her face.
Now, I will say that I thought that this gun kill was more effective than just any gun kill that we've seen in any sort of like slasher movie. I liked the fact that like, because normally it's like, like the best one I can think of is like, take Scream, for example. At the end when Cindy, I said the scary movie one, when Sydney, what do you call it? When Sydney shoots Billy in the head, and it's like, boom, like, and there's no blood. In this movie, they said, no. When you get shot in the head, blood's going to start spurting out of like your head. I love that. It made it more violent. It made it more, what do you call it? It made it more just like brutal. And I really like that. But not only that, and then, like when he unloaded the whole clip, not only did he unload the entire clip, he unloaded the whole thing in the same spot, because when she's found later on, like her entire face on this side is all completely broken apart,
like blown off.
And then like this one like is like you could just see like her eye closed and everything. But no, she is dead. Like Victoria, like she like goes up. I did like that scene a lot. Like she lost her sister. She's like there. She's like saying like, you can't be dead. Wake up. It's like, you can't be dead. What are you talking about? Like,
Look at
ma'am,
this.
like, I mean, like, you're not dreaming. That's touch it. Go ahead and touch it. Like, it's
Yeah,
real. So, you
She's
know,
gone.
yeah, like she is not there. Carlitos asks, are those real glasses, my guy? These are real, actually. Yes, I actually had to take out my contacts, and my name's Dr. Hunt, for anyone that's just been joining the stream. It's a character that I made up for a costume. Destiny and I are dressing up all month. Why are you shaking your head?
Nothing. I'm not.
Dr. Hunt at your service. Watch Dr. Hunt go down as one of the most iconic movie characters of all time, and you're going to feel real stupid after I write this character.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, okay. And you're going to be like, yeah, well, where's my paycheck for sticking with you all these years?
Right?
Like,
I'll buy you like a steak or something when it happens.
Oh, you'll buy me a steak?
Yeah.
Well, then we're going to go to the nicest steakhouse in the United States, okay? So, that's going to be where we go.
Breaking my bank over here for something I'm not even going to be able to eat.
Yeah, well, you can get something like off of like
mashed potatoes.
Yeah, get $800 mashed potatoes. I'm sure that'll
Yummy.
So Brandon here, he says Thornton said he felt uncomfortable firing that gun because it has a feeling of power shooting a firearm on someone. I could imagine. I mean, I also imagine, I'm sure that the dude is a freaking super nice guy, man. Like I've never seen him in an interview or anything. I'm sure that he is super nice, just like anybody, and means well, but it's like when you see them in their completed form on camera doing all this shit, it's like, I mean, they just do such a good job, and it's got to have some sort of impact on them. So I could imagine that, for example, one of our actresses, Kate Kelly, on set of Haddonfield Nightmare, when we were shooting at the prison one night, she, I was playing Michael Myers for this scene, and we needed something for Lauren to hit Michael with. So in the movie, the thing that you see her actually bring down on Michael Myers at the prison, that's a real piece of metal that we just found at the prison just for her to use. Cause we were shooting at this abandoned place, and there was just a lot of shit. She felt very uncomfortable, even holding it. So we're having conversations right now for the sequel, and she's like, can we make sure that we actually have props and stuff? So
real props, not fucking pieces of metal.
Yeah. So I'm not just taking shit because she was so scared that she was actually going to hit me in the head and that I was going to fall. And I was like, hey, if it happens, it freaking happens. As long as we get the shot and it happens, it's all I care about. So yeah, I can definitely see some people actors, and I mean it could be pretty uncomfortable, to do. But yeah, it was nothing over the top. But yeah. So but ultimately, we haven't even talked about the crazy cat lady yet. The crazy cat lady in this movie, the one that she's crazy. She is psychotic. She's got that doll as her daughter and everything like that. It's just, and the whole scene, when she sees Art and I honestly at first glance, I thought that was Victoria seeing Tara get shot. It was the crazy cat lady, who then ended up by the janitor or the guy working on the building or whatever. And that whole thing happened. And then Art freaking cut off her boobs.
Art
and
literally skins her tits. Have you ever seen Sleepaway Camp 2?
Not 2, no.
Okay, there's a part at the end, and it's so funny because I've never heard anyone say this before. She gets in the car or the truck with the lady, and the lady's like, oh, that ain't no skin off my tits. And then Art the clown literally skins the fucking tits off and is wearing them.
And he even cuts a part of her scalp off.
Yes, and almost has a wig on in a way. Is wearing her hair and wearing her tits. Bro.
It's
what the fuck?
It is so
crazy.
Messed up. I mean, it's insane. I'm just sitting there, and again, I'm just yo, what is this movie? But I mean, it's the shock value. This movie has some really good shock value to it, because it's how far can they push it? And again, I'm just so excited to see how much further they're gonna push it now in Terrifier 2. So I'm so upset that I can't go see it tomorrow night. I'm super sad that I have to wait until the weekend to see it. But I'm still very, maybe Saturday morning I'll get my sisters up and we can go and see it, because I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights this weekend with them. I'm driving out to California with my one sister on Friday. But I actually was on FaceTime with my sister Maggie like before this stream, and I was like, have you ever seen Terrifier? Because I'm about to talk about this, and it's insane.
I was watching it today at work just to watch a little bit of it, and then all my coworkers were like, what are you watching? And I was like, just a little movie called Terrifier. And then I turned it off because I didn't want to get to, the hacksaw scene. And I was like, okay, it's enough. I'll watch the rest at home by myself in the comfort of my bed, so no one else can be like, what the fuck?
So no one else can judge you and be like, yeah, you are, and you're watching this for fun. I actually did see a TikTok last week, and I liked it. It was like this, it was this woman. She was like, to those of you that watch scary shit by yourself and can go to bed at night, are you okay? And then there's it's a duet. And the one girl was like watching it, and she was like,
yes, it has like the light going.
Yeah, it's awesome. She's like, we're good, thanks.
No, literally, it's like, I put on The Conjuring to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm
fine.
I'm sitting there. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, you know what? I grew up with this shit, so you know
exactly.
what? Like,
I watched
Martyrs
one morning. I watched Martyrs at 7 a.m. one morning, and I had a great day. And I carried on like it was nothing. I'm fine. Maybe desensitized a little bit, but I'm good. Up here, nothing because of horror has made my brain go crazy. It's probably everything else surrounding my life.
Yeah, I mean, like, horror movies, just like, I don't know. I always love the shock factor. That's what I get a kick out of, is like, I like the idea. And honestly, that's why I love writing horror too. It's like, I have ideas for like scripts that I want to write that are non-horror. And I've talked to you about one of them, like, in the past. I don't know if you remember the Live script that I want to do. But it's like, for the most part, I'm just like, I love these psychological thrillers and these horror ideas, because it's like, I love getting the feedback, like when people read it and they are like, you are losing your fucking mind, Braden. And I'm like, nope, I just have a warped mind, and I just don't do it on people in real life. I do it to people and characters in movies.
Exactly. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I like that. Yeah. I like shock value when done right. Like, don't do some things just for shock. Like, for example, rape scenes. That shouldn't be in movies for shock. Rob Zombie,
we're looking at you, Chief.
I'm a fan of yours, but what was that? But like stuff like that, no. But like over the top gore, depending on what movie it is, like if it like suits the movie, I'm there for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like Jed is saying like this movie could have been gorier, and I think some death scenes could have been gorier, even though we do get some crazy ones. We could have seen a lot of shit, and that's what I'm hoping to see. It's just some like absolute crazy shit. I do love when horror movies have like over the top gore. I think that just makes it fun. I know he was talking about Deathgasm too earlier. I have not heard anything else about it, which makes me really nervous, because it's like, is it even going to be made? But Deathgasm has some of the craziest, like, over the top horror. There's shit with dildos in it. If you haven't seen Deathgasm, you have got to watch it, because it is so much fun. But there's stuff with dildos, double dildos. It's a lot of fun, and it's over the top, and there's like blood everywhere, and I like shit like that because I think it's just fun. And at that point, I don't think it's like, oh god, like that's so, like, I'm gonna pass out, so much blood. No, it's just like, it's silly, which I like in certain movies. I think it's fun.
Yeah. I'm just reading some of the comments here. I'm like looking down because they're posting before they get here. Brandon says that horror movies rarely scare me because the shit I dream about is scary enough to wake me up in heart racing mode. I'm not gonna lie, I have had a few like dreams like where I've like woken up in the middle of the night. I can't go back to bed. Like, I'm just like laying there, and it's like I try to, but like I mean, my girlfriend actually the other night told me that she has a hard time going to bed. I officially am not allowed to talk about horror with her anymore at all. So I am redacted from talking about anything scary around Abby. But she was saying that she literally, one of her biggest fears is that she wakes up in the middle of the night and she sneezes and she's terrified that
And
someone's
someone
going to
says, "Bless
say,
you."
and someone says, bless you.
When I'm home
Like,
alone and I sneeze, I wait. I wait a couple seconds. I'm like, seeing if anyone's gonna say anything from somewhere. I feel that though. I do feel
yeah,
that. I've
like,
definitely had some scary dreams. I've had two dreams about the creeper,
mm-hmm.
and those have been my scariest dreams. And I had like one of them. It was either like this year or like sometime last year. And then I've had a couple of dreams about Jason. I've never had a dream about Freddy or Michael, but I've had the most about Jason and then the creeper. I had one where Jason was dating my mom. And I was like, Mom, you need to leave him. He's scary. And then anytime he would show up, you would hear the music. And I'd be like, oh my God. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like my stepdad, kind of. And I just had to be like cool with him. That was a really weird dream.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
It was.
But you know, what are you gonna do? I mean,
What you gonna do?
what you gonna do when they
What
come
you gonna
for you?
do you remember that Vine?
From
It was like,
what?
though, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You remember that?
No.
Oh, it's either kill yourself or get killed. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You don't remember that Vine?
Okay, now I do. Now I remember it. I remember. I got it.
You got it.
I got it. But yeah, what are your closing thoughts here on Terrifier?
I think it's a lot of fun. I think I liked it more this time around than I have. I feel like with each watch, I appreciate it more, especially because I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. I like that it feels low budget. I think that adds to the charm. I think the kills are fucking great. They feel so brutal and pretty realistic, I would say. Like, they just feel so real. The effects look awesome. I like that it has some surprises throughout it, especially for it being sort of just like straightforward slasher and for it to like throw some curveballs at you. I think that's a lot of fun. Again, the subversion of a final girl, I think that's fun. Even though our final girl, like you said, she's not really a final girl. She just happens to survive, but like whatever. The subversion was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and at the very end, it has Art the Clown like opening his eyes. So it's like, what is he? Is he like supernatural? Because like I feel like he is sort of supernatural. Like I feel like this is not necessarily just a human man. Which, if he is supernatural, like full on, again, maybe it's explained in like All Hallows Eve or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting to see like where they could take that for the sequel. Really excited to watch the sequel whenever I can, whenever I am able to. But I'm really looking forward to that. That's definitely one of my most sort of anticipated movies of the year, especially with it finally coming out, because I feel like we have been waiting a while. And every time it's brought up, it's like, oh, we're going to get Terrifier 2 at some point,
Mm-hmm.
eventually. And then we got like the teaser, and it's like, we're still waiting. And then we got the trailer, and we're like, we're still waiting. But I'm excited to finally see it. I'm really, especially after seeing what everyone's saying about it, I'm really excited. Because I think it's going to be a really fun, crazy time. And we just need some movies that are like that. Some that are just a silly, fun, really bloody time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely excited for the second one. Again, this one just got me hyped up even more, especially watching it today. So I'm ready. I'm ready to bring on more blood. I've heard that there's more blood. I'm ready for it. You know, I'm ready to see what Art is going to do here in the sequel. Thomas is asking, will Terrifier 2 really be on Tubi? I don't think until next month, if anything. And I don't even know if it's going to Tubi because Tubi's free. And I know that they want to make money on this. So I don't think it will be this weekend, though. And then also, Good Real, I will not go right by this comment. The Violent Night trailer, it does look awesome. It looks fucking great. I still have to
watch the trailer. Brett even sent it to me. I was like, I'm going to watch this when I get off, but I didn't have that much time in between streams. So whenever I get off of this stream, I will be watching the trailer.
Yeah.
when I saw the poster and I saw David Harbour, I was like, oh, here we fucking go. That man is so fine. And to be a scary Santa, like...
Yeah, I will. He's actually not a scary Santa. So
he's
you
not
gotta,
scary? Then what's the
no.
point?
Violent. It's like so I'm gonna tell you right now. It's like a heavy action movie is what it looks like. So it's called Violent Night because it's like a group of mercenaries break into this family's house and Santa Claus pretty much is the savior of them. So like it just looks violent though. Some of the kills in it looks absolutely insane. So he's like the hero, like which honestly because I thought it was gonna be a remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night. So, you know, like that's kind of like what I thought it was initially. Watch the trailer before you make any decisions and then text me and tell me what you think. So, you know,
Damn.
But yeah, all right, guys, my phone, since I'm using my phone tonight and I'm using these, my phone is at 10% right now. So I got to get rolling here.
Dude, this
and
shit
it
drained
says
your fucking battery.
literally. Yeah, it literally
Drained
does. So we've been streaming for an hour, 10 minutes anyway. So we're about at our time limit. So it's not like it's like 15 minutes in. I'm like, all right, hold on. Wait a minute.
All right, guys.
All right,
Thanks
I'll
for joining.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Thank you so much to the members. You guys are absolutely awesome. If you guys join this channel, then you guys do get priority comments and everything. We'll respond to those a lot more in the what do you call it in the chat. So but hope that you guys have a great week. Hope that you guys have a great weekend. And Destiny, what do you got coming up this week?
Saturday, I will be on Good Real Hunting's channel for a Haunt watch along. Really excited. Love Haunt. And it kind of works out perfectly because we'll be talking about Haunt not next week, but then the week after that. So it kind of aligns. So I get my little watch in. And then Sunday night, I will be back on Good Real Hunting for Back from the Dead. We usually do it in the afternoon. But for this one, since it's like October and it's kind of like a special, you know, edition of it, we're going to be going at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, where Brett and I will, of course, be dressing up. And we're doing we are doing a little contest. So if y'all have not joined in on the contest, super easy. I know Brett tweeted it. I quote tweeted it on Twitter. It's also on like Facebook. All you have to do is post a picture of you in your favorite Halloween costume. And then you'll be put into a little spinner. And then we will spin it on Back from the Dead after we do our show. And then if you win, you get a $25 gift card to Amazon. And you can buy some horror movies. Or whatever the fuck you want to buy from Amazon. So,
Heck yeah.
super easy. Just post a picture of you in a Halloween costume. Or you can even, like, send it to me. And I can, like, give it over to Brett and be like, hey, this person did it. You know, like, whatever. But, yeah. Join in, super easy, chance to win $25. Why not? So yeah, just a little fun October activity. So
yeah.
Really excited for that. I'm really curious to see who's gonna win.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
curious.
That's it for the week.
I'm curious too also.
All right, did you put it in your costume?
No.
Fake.
But maybe I will.
What do you have to lose?
Facts. But for me, what do I have coming up this week? Nothing really. I'm watching Halloween Kills tonight and Chucky. Actually, tomorrow I do plan on having my I'm doing a review on Chucky season 2, episode 1. So I'm excited to watch it. Excuse you. But yeah, that's about it. And then the Halloween Kills review will be out on Monday. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your guys' week. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you guys like this, don't forget to join this channel on its journey to 15,000 subscribers. And we will see you guys next week on Fear Freaks. Have a great night, guys.
Good night.